About a month ago, mid-February, I sowed the first seeds for this season, and this is an update how it's going. The first to show was the onions and the leek, and they look very similar now that you see them as young plants. And then the celery came up, and shortly after they were showing, I moved them into this room, which is a bit cooler, apart from the evenings when we put on a bit of heat, because we spend our evenings in there. And here are the petunias, which were the next ones to show. Very uneven result so far, but I'm leaving them for a while yet to grow a bit more. And here are the pensés, which were the next to show, and I think they're in such a state I might put them in other containers soon. And this is the pepper, which took ages, I think a bit over 3 weeks before anything happened, and the same with the chili. Chilies were the last to show, but now they are also moved into this cooler area. This part of the room is very light. There are windows from both east and from the south. The next thing to sow are tomatoes, cucumber, broad bean and basil. I feel I'm a bit late. Maybe I should have done this a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't had time earlier, so sometimes you just have to wait till you have the time. This season I'm trying out 5 different types of tomatoes, and I'm gonna try not to sow too many of them, because there's always the hazard of where to put them in the end. So I'm gonna try and be a bit careful with that. Before I start with the seeds though, I have 2 herbs that I wanted to put in slightly bigger containers. Not that much bigger actually, because I still wanted to put the containers or the herbs in some Eastery looking pots. And when Easter is over, I'm going to put them in even bigger pots actually. So this is a mint, and I think it's a mint, if you know what I mean. It had a very strong scent of mint when I gave them some water before repotting them. And the other is an ordinary basil. I love the scent of basil as well, and quite often just put a couple of leaves on my sandwich at breakfast. Back to the seeds, and I'm here doing the cucumber first. This one is called Bait Alpha, and it's one of those longer thin ones. I was given this one. It's called a salad cucumber. I think I managed to make some grow last year, so these seeds are from last year. And they didn't work very well at all last year actually. For some reason the weather was strange. We had a very dry and hot May, and then it rained all the summer. Still, I've grown cucumbers for several years, and I usually manage to get some working anyway. And here I think I put 6 or 7 seeds in. It says that germination guaranteed is 80%, so I ought to get about 5 or 6 little plants out of that one. And I don't put any extra soil on here. I just make sure they are well down, about half a centimeter I think they should be down in the soil. And next to sow is the broad bean, nice big seeds there. And this type is called Neckarkönigen. I actually tried growing these last year. I was given a few seeds and they germinated beautifully. They grow beautifully quite fast because they get very long in the end. And they had lots of beans on them, but I actually never ate them for different reasons. But I did decide that I want to try that again, and this time I'm planning to eat them as well. I'm using ordinary planting soil in the bottom of the containers, and then I put some sowing soil at the top, and then the seeds, and here I'm covering the broad bean seeds with extra sowing soil. And then finally, before I go to the tomatoes, I'm sowing basil, and this is lemon basil. And actually I'm not that fond of sowing basil, mainly because I don't think I get that many plants out of them. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, I don't know. So that's why I tend to buy the already sort of grown up plants and repot them. But I can't get hold of lemon basil, and that's why I want to try and grow my own anyway. I don't know how many seeds there were in this package, but I used about half of them and saved the rest. The basil seeds are not supposed to be covered, so I just left those. But I checked on the broad beans actually, and they are supposed to be covered, or rather they're supposed to be sown 3 to 5 centimeters deep. So I decided to put some more sowing soil on top of them. I prepared the containers for the tomato seeds, and I'm starting with the beef tomato called Brandy Wine. It has 12 seeds in it. I decided to put 5 to 7 seeds in each container. Now I'm not sure why I bought beef tomato this year, because I had it last year and I wasn't that happy with it actually. Mostly because of the shape, and I didn't find that they were that tasty either. But maybe I bought this on sale, and that is very possible. So I'm using it anyway. The next one is Moneymaker, and as far as I understand, this is a sort of classical, really good tomato, which gives a good crop, and one of our neighbors swears by it. I'm still not quite sure why I've chosen this one either, because I know it gets tall, and in fact when I checked, all the tomatoes that I'm sowing are quite tall, so I do have to figure out how to support them. It seems like I forgot to record the next two seeds, but I want to mention them anyway. And the first one is Martina, which is a German tomato that comes early. So I was a bit curious about that. And also that one is not higher than 120 centimeters. And then Yellow Perfection, and that one I want to try because my mother has developed some sort of allergy against red tomatoes, but she can tolerate yellow ones. And I put that one in a yellow container. The next one is a cherry tomato. I like to have the different sizes, and this one is called Zuckertraube, and I think Zucker is sugar in German, and it's supposed to give a very good crop. And I might have tried them before. I'm not quite sure actually. Again, I'm only putting down about 5 to 7 seeds in the container. That's all the sowing done for now. I give them a bit of water. As you can see, that spraying can isn't working very well. I have to check that. Then I cover them with plastic foil and clean up, and then it's just to wait. Tomatoes, cucumbers and broad beans I find germinate quite quickly, and it's so much lighter and it's warmer now, so there should be a result quite soon. The basil takes longer, but I do have some in the kitchen for now.